Welcome to another Hawkview Collector video tutorial. In this video, we will be going over how to import CSV files and Rockwell files into Hawkview Collector and view them in the trend visualizer. Before we begin, I'll just remind you that everything that we will be talking about is available in the instruction manual, which you have access to through the software under the Help menu. This opens the Hawkview Collector instruction manual with all the information regarding it in it. So to open the importation window, you're going to right click on Acquisitions and select Import, and this opens the import window. As I mentioned, we will be going over two methods to import CSV and Rockwell files. Those are the only two importation methods in Hawkview. We'll start with CSV files. So you select CSV from the drop-down, select, and this opens the Open CSV file window where you can select the file. So I happen to have one prepared here. And this opens your CSV file and displays a sample. So you can determine the proper format for your importation. So there's different field separators you can select, and you can see the sample is changing appropriately, string delimiters, escape characters, your decimal separator, and your date format. The required format to import a CSV file is detailed in the instruction manual, but ultimately you can see here you have your first few rows of your header, tag, description, your min, max, and your units, and then your date time. And then you have each column corresponding to a channel. Now you can change your date format to match that of the file. So this case we have date, month, year with backslashes. So date, month, year with backslashes. Finally, you can select which tags you actually want to import. So I can choose to just take all of them, or I can uncheck the ones I don't want and only take those that are of interest. So I'll just grab all of them, and I'll name this test CSV importation. The last thing before we start is to select the frequency. Now, if you know the frequency of the data in your CSV, you can match it. If you don't, select whatever you feel is more appropriate. And this goes up to a max of 1000, and you can have frequencies of less than 1 if you would like. For instance, I'll take frequencies here to match about 1 minute, and we'll start that. And now I have my data in my trend viewer, and I can visualize these trends using Hawkview's powerful tools. You can view your acquisition properties here. You can see it shows the frequency that I chose in the sampling period being 60 seconds or 1 minute. The source files and importation type. You can adjust your ranges, the units associated, and whatnot. So the next thing is the Rockwell file. So you can see I have my imported acquisition under my acquisition node in the tree view. So let's go and import another one and grab a Rockwell file this time. Select. Now the Rockwell files have a very specific file format. Each file will have each tag will have 3 files. So float, which is the data, and tag name, which has obviously the tag name. These are the 2 important ones, but I'm just going to grab all 3. And although you don't need all 3, it doesn't hurt how you can sort through and determine the ones it needs and doesn't need. And if you did not select the appropriate ones, you'll get a warning saying, hey, you're missing these files for this tag. Again, you can select which actual tags you want. You can also use the filter here to sort through and see which ones there are. So if I want to uncheck them, we'll go data and take just these. So let's call this test Rockwell rotation, and we'll leave it at a frequency of 10 hertz. We'll just start that. Now, what's happening is that it's going to open the file, go through each point by point, and copy it into a Hawkview file format. Same thing for CSV. So it'll create the appropriate data structure for an acquisition, a Hawkview acquisition, based on your imported file. So you can see here, I now have the 2 trends that I imported. Similarly, I can go to the properties and I can see the property window, and I can make changes that I want to make to this file. And that's the gist of how you import files into Hawkview Collector. Thank you very much.